Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. If you are a subscriber to the channel, then you will have noticed that I have not had a new video for the last few days. Just got caught up and busy with a few other projects, but I am glad to be back with you today, and I'm ready to break down another EPL Showdown match that we have later today at 3:15 Eastern Time. Another pretty big GPP on DraftKings as well, 120K. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to try to keep it short and to the point today and give you everything valuable and then get you out of here. So the matchup is between Chelsea and Norwich City. Chelsea, huge favorites here, minus 800. Just for a little context, Manchester City playing Bournemouth are minus 750. So that kind of gives you a little context as to how big of favorites Chelsea are here. And I think it's for good reason. Number one, Norwich have been in terrible form, lost 6 straight. They are relegated, meaning they will be going down to the championship next year, and they essentially have nothing to play for right now. Then you have Chelsea, who are sitting in third, 1 point ahead of both Leicester and Manchester United. This is crucial because they will need to finish in the top 4 to qualify for the Champions League next year, and there's only 3 matches remaining. So this is a huge, vital match for Chelsea that they really must win. So they're going to do everything they can to win this match. So that kind of gives us a little context as to what's going on. As far as Norwich goes, I think you could make one of two arguments. You could make the argument that they're in terrible form. They have nothing to play for. They're going to come out here with zero motivation and just get crushed by Chelsea. But on the flip side of that, you could also argue that now they have no pressure on them. They're going to come out. They're going to be loose. And they actually might play better than they've played over the last, 6 or so matches. But just something to think about there. To quickly go over predicted lineups, I think this is a pretty good look at what we're going to see from Chelsea. You could see Reece James come in at fullback. You could see Tammy Abraham come in at forward. He did start the last match, but he and Giroud are essentially interchangeable pieces up there. William, Mount, Pulisic, I think we're going to see all of them. And then in the midfield, there could be a little rotation, but Jorginho and Kovacic are the predicted starters there. Conte and Billy Gilmore are out for this match. So for Norwich, I'm not putting a ton of stock into the predicted lineup because with nothing left to play for, we could see all of the bench guys or the normal bench guys start this match. So it's really, really difficult to predict the Norwich lineup, and it's going to be crucial to be there right at 1 hour prior to lock to see what they run out with and just be ready to make changes. Not that I want to have a lot of Norwich players, but, in Showdown you need at least 1, and we might even want 2 just for the potential value that it would open up. And the only other thing I would note is that Andre Duda, he was on loan, I believe. He's been sent back to his parent club, so he will not be playing in this match. So we don't need to worry about seeing him. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the projections here. These are DraftKings projections. I've hidden all of the players that I don't think are going to start, so these are all the projected starters. This is the floor projection. This is the player's full projection, and then salary, and then their point per dollar value. So if we're just looking at raw projections here, no surprise to see Willian at the top. He has looked really good since the restart. He is playing for a new contract, and he looks more motivated than I can recall seeing him. Taking most of the set pieces for Chelsea. So a very, very strong option, and definitely somebody to consider using as your captain, in an optimal or cash build. However, he is the most expensive player, so just keep that in mind. And then I was a little surprised to see Marcus Alonzo come in with the second best projection. he is a little more erratic in his scoring, but as a defender, he has a very, very high ceiling just because he gets forward so often. He's essentially playing like a midfielder, not a defender. So Alonzo, another strong play. Then you've got Pulisic and Mount, Barkley, all strong plays as well. Not sure that Barkley does start, though. Giroud coming in next. And again, if Tammy Abraham starts, he and Giroud are essentially interchangeable. Tammy Abraham does cost a little bit less. And then Azpilicueta, the other projected fullback, the Chelsea fullbacks are always good plays because they get forward a ton in these matches. Then finally, we get to the first Norwich player, Buendia, coming in here as like the 7th or 8th highest projected player. I do not see myself paying $8,800 for Buendia. If you're paying for him, it's going to take you directly off of a Chelsea player, and this is the Chelsea team that's minus 800. Should score multiple goals against this Norwich team. So, Buendia, yeah, he has a great floor, but he lacks upside. I'd much rather have a Chelsea player at that price. Plus, Norwich, nothing to play for here. So, Buendia could start the game and easily come off at halftime. So you just have to be aware of that type of risk. The other thing I think is important to mention, the chalk construction is going to be 5 Chelsea players. That's probably where I will go in my cash build. But in GPP, over the last 2 matches, Chelsea have allowed 3 goals to Sheffield and 2 goals to Crystal Palace. 2 pretty weak offenses that they allowed 5 goals to. So that's really concerning from a defensive perspective. Kepa, the keeper for Chelsea, has the worst save percentage in the EPL. So as far as shots on target, he allows the most in goal. Another stat that is not very encouraging for the Chelsea defense. And then, as I mentioned, Norwich kind of nothing on the, no pressure, nothing on the line here. They're going to come out loose, I think. They might be a little more attack-minded, not worry so much about being defensive. So when you put all that together, absolutely think Chelsea wins the match. But do they keep a clean sheet? I'm not very confident in that. So I think, a 5-1 or a 4-2 build where you bring it back with 1 or 2 cheap Norwich attackers is a really interesting build in GPP. And to that point, if we sort this by point per dollar value, now you're going to see some Norwich guys pop. McLean, not really an attacker, but the minimum price for a guy that does have a pretty nice floor, does get forward a bit and shoot, is really attractive. I will definitely consider using McLean as a salary saver, even in my cash build. But then here's Todd Cantwell, a guy that has essentially matched the offensive production of Timo Pukki this season, and he's only 3.4K, so he shows up as a really nice value. Those are the 2 guys that really jump out. Let's see if we, Onel Hernandez had looked really good, but he's up at 6K. I'd much rather take a shot on Todd Cantwell. Pukki, I don't even know if he's going to start, but Ida, I wonder. Well, I don't have the prices pulled up, but I'd be interested to see what the salary for Ida is because he is the projected starting forward for Norwich. If he's down under 4K, he would be another really interesting option to use in GPPs. And then I think I probably will avoid the Chelsea keeper, Kepa, just because of those defensive issues I mentioned. But Tim Krul could be another interesting option in GPP because, again, it's no surprise to Norwich that Chelsea need to come out here and win this game. So they could be forcing the issue, taking shots that aren't the highest percentage, which could be good for Krul's save upside. So just another thing to keep in mind. That's going to do it. That's all the relevant stuff I'm kind of looking at here. Again, just to recap, if we're talking about an optimal build on DraftKings, I think you certainly want to be looking at a 5-1 in favor of Chelsea. But, you know, if McLean and Cantwell both start, they're just so cheap that maybe you think about using both of them, and then you could get 4 premium Chelsea options and put Willian at the captain spot. And because that's going to be so chalky, stacking 4 or 5 Chelsea guys, kind of rotating in 1 to 2 Norwich attackers, if they can come up with a goal, is a nice way to differentiate if you're going to be playing in a larger field tournament. Also, I think you're going to see a lot of Willian, Alonzo, and Azpilicueta at captain for Chelsea. So if you can move off of that and captain somebody like, like Giroud, like Pulisic, like Mount, that will certainly help you differentiate your lineup and avoid being duped in the larger tournament. So something to keep in mind. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Good luck out there today. Would love to see one of you have a big takedown. If you have any other questions, just drop a comment below. I will see you guys next time.